a moment ago, a guard named Kevin Boyle. Is he the guy that runs the show for Springfield?
Not only does he run the show, but I think he's the glue man to this ball club. You're going to see him go after the loose ball. He's going to be physical. He's going to play aggressive. He's going to do the little things that makes for a winner. And when you look at the Springfield team, a team that finished third in this division and able to knock off 3 teams that won their division, a combined total of 100 wins and 5 losses, those teams that he played against, you can see the kind of contribution that Kevin Boyle makes to this basketball team.
Well, you said he does the little things. There's a guy who does some of the big things. Maybe more people will notice, and that is scoring inside and scoring from the wing, and that is Deion Irons.
Well, Deion Irons, I have a little advantage there because I've known Deion since he was about the 8th grade. He plays in my league in Philadelphia, Sunny Hope basketball program, and he's just a super athlete. He's 6'2", he rebounds, he runs well, he does a lot of little things that add up to big things, and he makes the big plays. He's going to take the shots when they have to be taken, and he's going to get the rebounds, and he also has the ability to go in the backcourt when they have some problems bringing the ball up the floor.
Against Altoona in a Western Championship game, a guy from Uniontown that took the shots when they counted was a guard named Greg Gabriel. He'll be wearing number 44 for the Uniontown Red Raiders. He scored 27 in that game against Altoona. One of the reasons it was important for him to have a big night was that Uniontown's inside game had been pretty much taken away from them. Most of that inside game is concentrated in the person of a kid named Earl Minor. He's had some knee damage. He had bruised cartilage earlier in the year. Now, he was told it would be 4 to 6 weeks before he could come back and be 100%. But that young man, Earl Minor, seems to be playing at 100% right now. However, his coach, Lash Nesser, says, well, the people in the PIAA tournament really haven't seen what Earl Minor can do. And, of course, the opposition is hoping they won't see what Earl Minor can do tonight. Do you think him inside, do you think Minor inside is one of the keys? Because if they take the inside game away from Uniontown tonight, now this Springfield team might be able to exploit that.
Well, I would agree with you simply because they don't have a lot of overall height. And when you're sending 4 guys to the boards to rebound, you leave yourself vulnerable because the fast break, the other end can be there. The Springfield team is a team that can make the transition play. And if they are crashing the boards, Uniontown's crashing the boards, and they're not able to come up with that rebound, you leave yourself vulnerable.
I think you can hear in the background just what the crowd here feels about this ball game tonight of the Springfield club, of what you have seen of them and know of them. Do you think this atmosphere is going to bother them? They've been underdogs all along.
Well, the natural reaction is always going to be butterflies when you're playing any kind of a basketball game. The bigger the game, the more the butterflies. But I always felt that after you made the first pass or taking the first shot or you get the first rebound, then you just get right on to the game. And it's also very important for both teams to try to get into their game plan as quickly as possible.
Well, if Uniontown gets into its game plan, it's going to be quick because they do like to run and just keep on running. They've got a coach named Lash Nesser who's been down this road before. 1965, he took St. John's to the Pennsylvania Catholic Interscholastic Athletic Association Championship. So he's been here before. Jerry Quiedenfeld is a young coach. Do you think that's any advantage for Uniontown?
Yeah, because one thing, he has grown up with this ball club. This is the 4th year he's been here. He took over for Skip Worley, who went on to Ursinus, where they had great success this year. They ended up in the finals of Division III. So growing up with a team sometimes gives you a feel of the guys that you've had for the last 3 or 4 years, and I think this can be a real advantage for Quietenfeld.
He's come up the road. Every game he's been the underdog. No one's really been looking for him. But when you get down to the final game, is there such a thing as an underdog? Because after all, he wouldn't be here if he didn't have some talent.
Well, I think there's 2 ways you can answer that question. One, we've climbed the mountain, we've got nothing to lose. Or you can look at it from the point of view, we've come this far, why not go all the way? And I would think that the pressure is equal. Cinderella team, as Springfield has been called, is appropriate for them. But, hey, when you get this far, there's no more Cinderella. It's the fact that, hey, you must have played some real good basketball on both ends in order for Uniontown and Springfield to get here.
Turnover is always a big factor in those first few opening minutes. Uniontown runs, well, Springfield can run. Is a particular type of game one of those clubs likes to play? Would that be more conducive to somebody being tight early and maybe throwing it away more than the other team?
Yeah, I would feel that a running natural team would have the advantage over a team that would not want to run consistently. You know, you have the control run, and then you have a more undisciplined, like, let's get up and down the floor, let's create a lot of offense. And the more you run, the more chance you're going to have to turn the ball over. But you're looking at it from a ratio point of view that if I can get the rhythm of the game the way that I want it to be, then I don't mind a few turnovers. I don't want a lot of them, but I'll take a few. So we're going to look at it from the point of view, which team can really set the tempo or the beat or the rhythm of the game so that they in turn can be playing the way they want to play.
Well, you've heard what we think about it. We're not going to be the ones on the benches tonight, so we'll be back with the coaches' comments right after this.
If your car keeps running even after you stop.
Good evening, Channel 48 viewers. My name is Jack Peters, and I represent the Philadelphia Electric Company. PE, your neighbor in reliable service for 100 years, is delighted to have this opportunity to help bring you this championship game. We have with us this evening Mr. Earl Knorr, principal of Springfield High School. And Earl, on behalf of myself and PE, I wish to congratulate you, the coaching staff and squad, for having reached the finals of our state tournament. And now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy the game.
We are going to break the world record. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, go.
Tonight at 10, witness the unbelievable, the Guinness Book of World Records, hosted by David Frost.
I've never been afraid in my life.
Watch for the funniest, most bizarre and astonishing feats of human endeavor ever recorded. The Guinness Book of World Records, tonight at 10 on Channel 48.
Back at Hershey Park Arena, still about 9 minutes away from tipping it off. Randy Waters along with Sonny Hill. We were discussing the key players a few moments ago. Of course, two men will be in the spotlight here, the coaches of these ball clubs. Springfield Delco is coached by Jerry Quiedenfeld. He's a young coach. He's not supposed to be here. He's the coach of the Cinderella team. So to find out his thoughts about this championship game, Tab Douglas spoke with Coach Jerry Quiedenfeld.
We're in here. With me is the coach of Springfield, Jerry Quiedenfeld. Jerry, a lot of people say you're making sure you're here. You're here, you upset two pretty good teams to get here. Can you make it?
Altoona wants to talk it over. And still, with 4:49 left to play, third quarter, we've got a tie ball game. It's 25 apiece. We'll be right back right after this.
Uniontown. We got here mostly on desire and team ability, team spirit.
Oh yeah, we are definitely a team built around our ability to pass the ball and get the ball into as many hands as we can. We pride ourselves wholeheartedly on being the best defense in the East.
Quickly, what do you think you have to do to win tonight?
We have to out-defend them tonight and show them the #1 defense here at Springfield.
Alrighty, now back to you, Randy.
Well, he hardly sounds like a young man who is about to approach a task he doesn't think he can accomplish. This team is upset, as you mentioned, people all the way along the tournament trail, and they feel they're supposed to be here, even if the so-called experts, and what do we know anyway, don't think they are supposed to be here. Coach Lash Nesser from Uniontown, well, his thoughts, he's kind of been down the road before, but he thinks this is probably his most coachable, perhaps his most talented ball club.
First to guard, Herzog. Julia Lohner trying to play tough defense
I
on
have with
Herzog.
me the coach of Uniontown, Jim Lash Nesser. Jim, you're going against a surprise team tonight.
That's that reaching foul, Mike.
More pressure on the guys.
That's tough. Well, they've had that kind of pressure all year, really, so
Stick that arm in there
they're
like
just
you
going to
got
have to
contact.
maintain
Your
their
opponent's
poise
very
and fight the pressure.
People say your team is quick,
Come on,
fast,
Paula.
aggressive, and
you
strong.
can't get down now. Got to
Is that
get back
what
in
you're
this
going to
game.
need to beat
There's
this team?
25.
You're going to need a lot more than that, too. You're going to need a little luck, and we're going to need everything we have to beat them. They're tough. They're a real tough ball.
Does it matter that these two teams never faced each other before? Does that...
Well, this boys AAA championship has no corner on the excitement market here in Hershey Park Arena. We've already crowned champions in other divisions. So let's take a look at just who has walked away from here, as we mentioned a moment ago, with the championship hardware. So far, to this time, it has not been a good tournament for the Western representative. Sonny, the East has kind of dominated play. We just saw Allen come away with the girls AAA championship.
It's about time to turn around a little bit for those of us who live in the East. It seems like the West is the dominant factor most of the time.
Well, let's run down the tournament winners so far. Take a look at who the teams are, and as we said, Allen winning the girls AAA championship, defeating Altoona. That game just concluded a few moments ago. The final was 53-40. Now, girls Class A champions. There's your only Western winner so far. Conneaut Lake 45-32 over Mid-Valley. Conneaut Lake wins the girls A championship. Now from the West, or the East rather, Milton Hershey over Laurel Valley today, 52-49 in the boys Class A championship. So right here in their own backyard, Milton Hershey comes away a winner. Susquehanna Township defeated Sharpsville 51-25, a blowout in this tournament. You don't find that too often. Once you get this far, things are usually pretty even. Central Columbia over Carleton. Pittsburgh area team Carleton falls by 3 points, 49-46, so the boys AA champion is Central Columbia coming in here, coming from behind as a matter of fact, to beat Carleton and win that ball game by 3, 49-46. And as we mentioned a moment ago, Allen 13 points over Altoona, 53-40 in the girls AAA. It really was a closer ball game than that, but Allen pulled away in the second half, in fact pulled away in the fourth quarter. So that is what has happened to date. What's going to happen here? Well, that's anybody's guess. I hope we've been able to sum it up for you and probably take a look at what some of the exciting moments might be in regard to the style these two teams play and who some of the more exciting players might be. But Sonny, the great thing about a tournament is you never know who might be the man of the moment.
We saw that on TV today earlier with the NCAA where LSU was knocked out and had a very poor second half.
Right.
So surprises when you get in any kind of tournament play is a part of what goes on.
Well, who would have thought LSU would fall apart like that? Who would have thought with Ralph Sampson that Virginia would be beaten like that? That's the key to tournament play. Who would have thought? After this game, who would be saying, who would have thought about which team? Well, we will know before too many more moments whether it is Springfield Delco right outside Philadelphia or Uniontown coming away with the boys AAA basketball championship. We will be back with the starting lineups and the opening tip-off right after this.
Artist Norman Rockwell's paintings are so real. They seem...
The officials for this game, Eugene Susi and Joe Candanzaro. They'll be calling the whistles, and that's a very important factor in tonight's game because Uniontown's Red Raiders have people that really go to the boards hard. And Lash Nesser told me this afternoon sometimes a little bit too hard if the game is being called a little bit tight. So if there are a lot of whistles being blown, you might look for Uniontown to start to get into foul trouble because they hit the board so hard.
Just pick up on that point there about the foul trouble because both teams do not have a deep ball club. The Springfield team goes about 7 players. After that, they will have some difficulty, and that's natural when you're talking about teams on this level. It's a rarity when you have high school teams that can go 9, 10, 11 players deep and get the kind of help off the bench that's going to help you significantly, particularly in a championship game. So the way that the officials call the game, we'll probably be able to see that in the first couple of minutes. They'll try to establish some kind of way of whether they're going to let the game be a little physical, whether they're going to call it close, then the teams will have to adjust from that point of view. But the point that if they do call it real close and either team gets in some kind of foul trouble, that will be a difference in the ball game.
Well, depth is a luxury at this level of competition, but high school coaches are used to working without many luxuries, and we'll see which one of these two gentlemen works the best tonight. We want to remind you that announcers on this telecast are contracted and paid for by Total Communication Systems, and any rebroadcast or other use of the accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of Total Communication Systems is prohibited. I think you can get an idea. We've got a good crowd packed in to Hershey Park Arena for the boys AAA state championship. The two coaches are at midcourt right now exchanging pleasantries, but when Lash Nesser and Jerry Quiedenfeld return to their respective benches, the pleasantries will be over until we get through 32 minutes of playing time. And one of these teams walks out of here with the state championship. We mentioned those key players a moment ago as being Greg Gabriel and Earl Miner. Now don't forget that Miner, up to this point, has not played at full speed, 100% capacity. And the Uniontown coaching staff says that by now he may be ready to go. Springfield, of course, will try to counter him inside. Uniontown very seldom plays anything but a man-to-man defense. We can look for that. One of the keys there is when you've got their kind of quickness, why go anything but man-to-man? Because logically, you're going to be able to just beat people man-to-man if you've got a lot of quickness. They do not like to resort to the zone defense. For that matter, neither does Springfield Delco. We'll see how Jerry Quiedenfeld tries to counter the quickness of the Uniontown Red Raider Ball Club here tonight. We're just about ready for the introduction of the starting lineups. Uniontown will be wearing the light uniforms, will be designated the home team on the scoreboard here in Hershey Park Arena tonight. Springfield Delco will be wearing the gold-colored uniforms, and they'll be the visitors. District 7 representative, the Uniontown Red Raiders, defeated Erie Prep, Brashear, Erie McDowell, and Altoona to get here. Bishop O'Reilly, Reading, Whitehall, and Coatesville were the victims of Springfield Delco on their route to Hershey Park Arena. Delco was third seeded in District 1, so that shows you what the underdog can do. Number 22, 5'10" junior Rob Butler will be starting at one of the guard positions. He's joined by Kevin Hoyle, who'll be wearing number 20 in the gold uniform. Wearing number 52 is Glenn Malin. He stands 6 feet. He's a junior. More juniors on the Springfield Ball Club than on the Uniontown team. Ted Kirkpatrick is a 6'2" junior, and the big guy, a 6'3" senior, number 44, Dion Irons. There you have the starting lineup for Jerry Quiedenfeld's ball club. Springfield Delco, 28-4 coming into this ball game. 31-2 is the record of Lash Nesser's Uniontown Red Raiders. Earl Miner wearing number 32. We'll watch carefully to see how well he moves on that knee. There's the key man, the point guard, Greg Gabriel, here wearing number 44. Number 30, Brian Katz-McLee, a 6'1" senior. Eric Lee stands 5'10". He'll be at one of the forwards. Rounding out the lineup, Craig Harris. There you have the starting lineup for the Uniontown Red Raiders. Well, they've all worked hard since November to be where they are on this spring evening. All the winter months and long nights of work. Someone's going to walk away from here disappointed, and somebody's going to go away with all of it. Uniontown getting the final few words of wisdom from Lash Nesser.
The first 3 minutes of the ball game is what I like to look at, because that many times will set the tone of what's going to happen offensively or defensively. And within the first 3 minutes, we'll be able to see whether the jitters, the turnovers, the man-to-man pressure that will be applied by both teams. Also, the motion offense that the Springfield team likes to use, where the ball is rarely on the floor. These are the kinds of things that you want to watch and see if the team is in sync when they're doing it.
They're just about set to jump it up. Katz-McLee to jump it up for Uniontown. Irons stepping into the center circle with Springfield Delco's Cougars, and here we go. Controlled by Springfield. That's the key man, the point guard, Boyle out front. As expected, Uniontown's in a man-to-man. That's a big matchup right there. Gabriel is on Boyle. The two quarterbacks of the ball club. First time inside, and inside successfully goes Irons.
Right away, we see a post-up situation by Dion Irons, taking the ball to the basket very easily, and that psychologically is going to help the Springfield team.
Craig Harris almost threw it away. Gabriel saved it. No, he couldn't get it away before he walked with it. Gabriel walked with it after the bad pass.
We saw the man-to-man pressure. Once they got across, we saw the jump pressure of 2 men, and that in itself caused the traveling on the part of Uniontown.
Well, one of the guys in the championship game, Dean Smith, came up with the run and jump defense, and you saw an example of it there. Again, they get the ball to the baseline, and although there's no basket, there's a foul.
And what I talked about in the beginning with Deion Irons doing it first, when you have no intimidator back there, that means that psychologically we feel we can go to the basket and we're not going to be concerned about anybody interfering with the shot or blocking the shot. And on that play, we saw just that happen.
That's the first foul on Brian McLee. That put Ted Kirkpatrick at the line. Kirkpatrick has his first point, and Delco has a 3-0 lead. It's 7:19 in the first quarter. Uniontown still yet to light it up. Too strong that time. Harris into the lane to get the board. Here comes Gabriel. Notice how they try to jump and double team him out front.
Well, they rotate up real nice and get back to their man very quickly, as we've seen right there.
Miner showing you the jitters there. In fact, no rim on the shot by Uniontown. Miner couldn't control it, then the shot was put up and got nothing but backboard. So that might show you how tight Uniontown is, but they got a break. Foul called inside.
Deion moves over very well, takes away the baseline. Miner in turn forces the shot up.
Gabriel can't get it to go. Uniontown crashes the boards, but coming away with the loose ball is Irons. They looked inside.
This is the motion offense. Hit and go away.
And a high percentage shot.
Let's go back to what I opened up with. 3 times in a row they've gone down low, and they realize that not only 1, they can get the ball in, but 2, once they get it in, the player can go to the basket.
Well, so far Springfield owns the baseline, that's for sure. Gabriel breaks the ice for Uniontown.
And that's a big shot. That shot will be there all night because of the fact that when they jump pressure, they rotate up on the weak side, so that shot will be there until that man makes that adjustment.
Gabriel pressuring Boyle outside. Uniontown man-to-man.
Now, Uniontown realized, now Springfield realized they can get it inside. That's where they're going, right inside with a strong offensive rebound on the part of Springfield.
Kirkpatrick put it up and put it in. He's got a chance at a 3-point play.
Ball goes up. Kirkpatrick gets good position. Not only does he control the ball, but he goes back very strong and with good balance.
That's the second foul on Brian McLee. He can get on the board. He's the second in the state in the high jump competition, so that ought to show you what he can do. So Kirkpatrick completes the 3-point play. He's got 4 points. Irons has 4 points, and Springfield leads 8-2. Look at him break the pressure.
Springfield was so concerned about pressure up front that they did not take a look in the back. The backcourt man picked the ball up and had a nice open player.
Eric Fee found himself all alone, and then he found the basket up from behind. Some pressure on the ball, and Boyle turns it over with the charging foul.
Boyle handling the ball, pushes the man off with his arm, and that's where the foul came in.
He cleared out a little bit, and a little bit was all it took in that case. Again, pressure on the ball. They let up now with Gabriel bringing it across. Greg Harris to the baseline with the shot. Air ball. Irons pulled it out.
They look to run off the break. If it's not there, they pull it out, go to the half-court game. And they really are looking to get it down.
Kirkpatrick, the left-handed shot. Kirkpatrick has 6.
We talked about first 3 minutes. We see the Springfield team into their game plan, and the Uniontown team is struggling to try to find out how to resolve the defense that's being applied to them.
Well, Gabriel's the man that probably will have to solve it. He's got the ball outside, now takes it inside. No luck for him. He's hard on the board. Springfield Delco will control the ball.
Right now, Uniontown is not organized to the point that they want to do the things that they have laid out in the game plan. They're scrambling. They appear to be not dictating to the Springfield team, but letting the Springfield team dictate to them. And until they get themselves together, they're going to have problems.
Lash Nesser is the first coach to go to the bench. Number 40, Ken Holt, into the ball game for Uniontown. You see the pressure that Gabriel puts on Boyle. Play to get the ball.
5 baskets inside, 1 basket outside. Shows you that they're really into their game and they know what they want to do on the floor.
Deep down to the baseline, air ball from Holt, and the Uniontown Red Raiders have shown every sign of being too tight to operate. The foul, however, that time is on Boyle, number 20.
Boyle trying to box out, picks up the second foul. That can be a factor, as we talked about in the opening. He's the glue man. He makes sure everything happens on the floor. He dictates where the ball will go.
B is now out on top, and Gabriel over on the wing. Now Gabriel will bring it back, swing it back outside.
Good strong zone.
Knocked away that time by Springfield.
Now, this is one of the few times that we've seen any extensive use of the zone, because normally the Uniontown team comes down the floor. They're a little confused about the pressure that's applied in the backcourt, and it's not there long enough for them to really find out how to attack that zone.
But we've got to pause in the action. The score, Springfield Delco 12, Uniontown 4. We'll be back right after this.
Make Wilco's Garden Center.
Randy Waters along with Sonny Hill back at Hershey Park Arena. Remember, at the end of the game, Sonny and I will have a player of the game. And right now, Uniontown owns the ball, but Delco owns the lead. 12-4, make that 12-6 after Eric B.
And that not only was a big shot from the outside, but that's the kind of shot you've got to have going against a zone. That was a strong jump shot that had a message.
And to the baseline again, Kirkpatrick will get the 2-shot foul.
Good ball movement. Kirkpatrick has good position down low, receives it, and all in one motion, turns around, goes to the board, and is fouled. And again, we go back to what we said in the opening. The Springfield team has found out there's no shot blocking, no intimidator, and they in turn are taking advantage by taking that ball inside.
Ted Kirkpatrick gets his 7th point, his 3rd from the line. He can only get one of the 2 to go for him, so it is a 13-6 lead, and Eric B. down to the baseline. That's Holt. Kenny Holt has his first 2 points of the ball game. B, Gabriel, and Holt have done the scoring for Uniontown. Dion Irons has 6 and Ted Kirkpatrick 7. They've done all the Springfield scoring. Number 24 is Jim Barr, who checked into the ball game for Springfield during the dead ball. 3:15, first quarter, 13-8. Springfield leading Uniontown, and at the moment saying, come out and get it. You saw Irons only a step and a half away from midcourt.
You know, I don't know if I would really like to do this if I was the coach. They've had a lot of success coming down the floor and doing whatever they wanted to do. Now all of a sudden you take away the rhythm that you've established and you're trying to bring a team out for what? I mean, you're getting everything that you want whenever you want it.
They got it again right there.
Hey, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Kirkpatrick has 9 points. Springfield has 15. Uniontown trails 15-8. Miner looked inside and couldn't find anyone. Here's the little quarterback of the ball club. Now Gabriel, they sealed the baseline nicely on him. Not a high percentage shot by Fee, but followed up inside by Miner.
Well, that's what you were talking about earlier, about Miner being injured and now coming back. And you saw the jumping ability and the quickness of him off that offensive rebound.
15-10, Springfield on top by 5. 2:08 in the first quarter from Hershey Park Arena. First time Irons has ventured outside. Not a good shot for him. Rolls out of there. And coming over the back, I believe, is Kirkpatrick.
When you're going good, you don't have to force anything. Springfield has been able to get the ball where they want, whenever they want. Dion takes an outside shot. We missed that. Now we see a fall-away jump shot that just won't go, and that's where the foul is by Kirkpatrick.
Kirkpatrick picks up the personal. There's Craig Harris. Double teamed, almost knocked away by Barr. Fine pressure by Springfield. Finally some penetration, knocked away and picked up by Springfield.
Not only pressure, but they react well in getting back into the defensive flow. And we saw it with the pickup of the steal that time.
You'd have to think something would be open, but they fill the passing lanes immediately. That time, unforced error, thrown away. Glenn Malin kicked it across the lane, through a lot of traffic, but no one touched it. Robbie Butler out front, on top of the zone that Greg Gabriel faces as he brings the ball down. Craig Harris, too strong. Look at Irons rip it off the glass. That's Irons at the offensive end.
Good transition basket. Dion did it all. He got the rebound. He kicked it out. He filled the lane, and he put the ball home.
And he has given Springfield a 17-10 lead with a minute left in the first quarter. That's Minor, too strong. He follows his own shot. Yes, the second time.
And again, we see Minor, quick reaction, shoots it, follows it up, not only gets it, but he releases very quickly off of the offensive shot.
He cuts it to a 5-point advantage for Springfield. Inside again.
Good decision on the part of Dion. Didn't have it, let's start it all over again. And this is that motion offense on the part of Springfield where they keep that ball hopping.
Now, we had a whistle away from the ball that time, Sonny, and you mentioned the motion offense. I think Mike Ciano, who came off the bench, number 30, was setting a moving pick on the other side of the lane.
Well, that's one of the problems that you'll have many times with the motion offense. A man has to establish himself, see if we can pick it up. Yeah, he's hunting a man, see? Instead of holding his position, he tries to find somebody like you're playing football to block, and you can't do that in this game.
I don't know. Sometimes I think you can. That sends Earl Minor to the line. He's got 4 points so far this evening.
I've been impressed with his natural athletic ability.
Nice release, good rotation on the free throw. He cuts it to a 4-point lead, 17-13. They will play this one, the second of his 2 shots. Rimmed out, and Irons went up to get it. So Minor's 1 out of 2 at the line. 25 seconds. Let's see if Springfield pulls it out. Stolen by Eric Feed and Craig Harris. He took it all the way, rode a good block, and now look at Irons. Challenged by Minor, but he held up. Irons wisely held up and laid up the
And we saw an instinctive basketball play by an outstanding high school basketball player.
Minor can't get the shot off. 1 second left. If it goes, it'll count, but it goes far over the backboard as Springfield has jumped out on top. That is the end of the first quarter. Springfield Delco 19, Uniontown 13, and we'll be back right after this. We're about ready to start the second quarter. Uniontown staring a 6-point deficit in the face unofficially so far. Uniontown shooting only 42%, Springfield 66%. That about says it all. Looked inside for Irons. Minor was fronting him, it wasn't there. This is Irons outside.
As we would say in the playground, his game's in town. He's going inside, got himself together confidence-wise, and now he's going outside and showing that he can shoot the jump shot from about 18 feet to the hoop.
That's Minor staring that zone in the face, nothing there. Fee out on top. He forced the shot up, but it went for him. To beat that zone, in my opinion, at this time, the ball is staying in one place a little too long out on top for Uniontown.
Good point.
Irons loose inside the left hand. He put it up with the left hand. It wouldn't go, and they'll jump it up.
Again, we see the versatility of Dion receiving the ball down low. His right hand was shut off. He rotated, went to the left, and the ball spun in and spun out for him.
He felt the pressure, so he switched to the offhand. That is Minor and Irons, 2 key figures in the ball game, staring at one another now, and Minor controlled that tap with authority. 21-15, Springfield leading Uniontown. Minor on the baseline, too strong. Nice job of rebounding by Craig Harris, but he stepped on the line and went out of bounds. Another turnover for Uniontown.
2 things have hurt Uniontown up to this point. the outstanding defense on the part of Springfield and the lack of being able to rebound. Right here we see a strong offensive rebound, but unfortunately his foot slipped out.
He was right near the baseline and too near the paint, according to the official. Boyle bringing up against Gabriel.
Boyle does a real good job of controlling the ball club. They seem to react real well with him on the floor.
He slipped inside that time and dished it.
That's an example. When he was off the floor, the continuity was not as strong. When he's back on the floor, he is the glue man.
Mike Ciano got the deuce, 23-15.
The zone reacts very quickly. Notice how Gabriel had a shot before he could get it off. They shut it down.
Well, he had the shot that time.
And was in his face.
Uniontown has had very few uncontested shots in this ball game. 6-minute mark in the second quarter, and Springfield on top by 8:23-15.
And Uniontown has had a lot of difficulty playing man-to-man against this motion offense, and the fact that within the framework of the motion offense, we see the big guys being able to post up. Kirkpatrick looking under, pass just off the fingertips.
Gabriel brings it up, pressured.
This is the thing that's so good. They come back and adjust so well after applying that pressure.
Before Miner could get the shot off that time, Mike Ciano got a piece of him, reaching around. So number 30, Mike Ciano, picks up his second personal foul. He's a 6'3" junior. And he'll be going out of the ball game. Dion Irons coming back in after.
Miner receives a good pass, but before this, we saw where Ciano pushed off, and that was the second foul, and Dion Irons is in, and Ciano is out.
One key to this point, Sonny, it's been on very few occasions that Earl Miner has got the ball at that point.
Well, I think that's a tribute to the defense. Not only the pressure that they apply full court, but the way they're able to get back into the defensive flow and set their zone up so that they shut down the inside of the Uniontown team.
Earl Miner looking for his 7th point. He's got it. He's got 3 of those from the free throw line. It is 23-17, and Uniontown counters with some pressure of their own, but Springfield breaks it easily, and the big guy, Irons, waits on a guard.
And it also seems that Springfield has a lot of versatility with Irons and Kirkpatrick being able to come outside and be effective either in the passing game or passing and moving without the basketball.
Jim Barr needs some help. Fee knocked it away, but right into the hands of one of the Cougars.
Good patience on their part. Goals have been coming rather easy for them, and at this stage, good defense, but they have the patience.
Well, the foul on the baseline. Ken Holt a little late in getting back to the baseline in the zone, and so not much he could do but pick up a foul.
Good movement of the ball. Kirkpatrick open, puts it on the floor, goes to the basket strong. Defense is late in adjusting. And even though Uniontown likes to play man-to-man, I would not be surprised to see them go to some zone to see if they can't shut down that inside, because the man-to-man just is not doing it.
Greg Harris over to help Ken Holt, picked up the personal, and Kirkpatrick gets 1 out of 2 shots, so he's got 10 points. It's a 24-17 lead. Springfield Delco on top of Uniontown. Harris backing inside. He lost control of it. One of the reasons he lost control, he was fouled.
And Springfield has now gone to a man-to-man, so they're changing their defenses up. We've seen a press. We've seen the jump when they get across half court. We've seen them go back into the zone. Now we see them playing some man-to-man, and that's when you got to have the guard who's smart enough to recognize what's happening, step off of it, and then set his team up accordingly.
Greg Harris at the line with the 1 and 1. Harris, a 6-foot senior. Another one of these Red Raiders that really impresses you when he goes to the boards with his leaping ability. He's got 2 points, both from the line. It's a 5-point Springfield lead, 24-19. Barr breaking the pressure from Gabriel rather easily, and you saw Kirkpatrick stand and wait for some help from Irons.
Now this is a good disciplined ball club, and they can come down and try to execute, although they turned it over that time.
Kirkpatrick knocked it out of Harris' hands. Kirkpatrick hustling back on defense, got a hand on it.
And that's one of the better defensive plays, particularly on the post-up. That time the defensive man would not stay in the back. He got around the weak side and they knocked the ball loose.
Miner had a little more daylight that time. They got the ball to him a little more quickly. And Earl Miner has 9 points, and we've got a 3-point ball game, 24-21. Jim Barr, who did not start the game, it is one of Friedenfeld's first substitutes, and he's in there now. There's Irons on the baseline, the left-handed shot. No, Kirkpatrick, yes! If it will count, no, the traveling violation before he got it up. The traveling violation before he followed up with the shot. We've got a pause in the action. The score, Springfield Delco 24, Uniontown 21, and we'll be back right after this.
Good evening, Channel 48 viewers. My name is Jack Peters, and I represent the Philadelphia Electric Company. PE, your neighbor in reliable service for 100 years, is delighted to have this opportunity to help bring you this championship game. We have with us this evening Mr. Earl Knorr, principal of Springfield High School. And Earl, on behalf of myself and PE, I wish to congratulate you, the coaching staff and squad, for having reached the finals of our state tournament. And now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy the game.
While in the midst of the basketball action, let me tell you that coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at some of the great PIAA wrestling highlights from last week. Also meet the PIAA's most recent Wrestling Hall of Fame inductee, Joe Solomon. And we'll take a look at those first half statistics, so stay tuned. You aren't going to want to miss any of the action or those halftime features. Eric V to Craig Harris, down inside to Earl Miner on the baseline. He got a pair.
Uniontown has not had the rhythm of the game the way that they want. But it's to their credit that they have been bending, but they will not break. And at this point, they are only down by 1 point, and Earl Miner has just been doing a superb job of keeping his team in the ball game.
Miner matched up on Irons, this time inside. Springfield got the ball to Mike Ciano with the left-handed layup off the glass.
Now we see how easy Springfield has been able to score. Uniontown has scrambled, but they have stayed in the game just because they will bend, as I said, and they will not break.
Harris, look at the zone, come to get Craig Harris. He went to the baseline to get away from it, and it paid off. Harris has 4.
Baskets are coming a little easier now. Things are happening for the Uniontown team that was not happening the early part of this first half.
Kenny Holt laying off Irons a little bit. He went around. That shot will not count. The foul on Ken Holt reaching around before Dion Irons got the shot off.
Foul on 40, Ken Holt. That's his second.
2 fouls on Ken Holt.
Dion gets the ball, squares up, puts the pressure on the defense, takes the first step inside of it, but he's fouled before he can get into the shot.
Well, he waited until Holt came to get him. That was what was so nice about that move, but he cannot convert the free throw. So he, so far, hasn't hit from the line. Barr stepped out of bounds. A foul before that turnover on the baseline.
What happened was, in an effort to come up with the loose ball, Gabriel pushed off. The trailing official saw it. The noise prevented the underneath official to hear the whistle.
So as soon as Gabriel committed the foul, we actually had a dead ball. Then Jim Barr, a 5'10 senior. Or rather, Rob Butler.
You've got to like the fact that Uniontown has not had control of the game, either offensively or defensively, but they are just a few points behind at this time.
Springfield up by 2, and still coming with the pressure, then dropping back into the zone.
We're in a man-to-man this time.
Oh, they have gone to the man-to-man. Oh, Gabriel's shot goes down. That ties it up, and he'll have a chance to put Uniontown ahead.
That fleeting thing called beat of the ball game, rhythm or tempo is changing. We see good movement, find the open man. Gabriel gets the ball all in one motion, gathers himself, drops the shot, and he's fouled. And that's about the third or fourth time in a row that the Uniontown team has been able to go down the floor and find a much easier basket than they have throughout most of the first half.
Gabriel puts Uniontown ahead. Greg Gabriel.
Now let's see how Springfield reacts by being down for the first time in the ball game.
Looking inside for Irons. They finally get it to him. No, he missed the easy shot. He followed it. Miner ripped it off.
That could be a telling play because he had an easy shot, could have scored. That psychologically, particularly for the remainder of this half, could be a factor.
Harris looking for Miner. He got it to him. Earl Miner.
They're doing it.
He's got 13.
They're into their game right now offensively. Not playing great defense, but the offense is outstanding right now for Uniontown.
Uniontown trailed by 6 after the first quarter. They now lead by 3 with a minute 37 left in the second quarter. Harris knocked it away. There's Irons, an easy one inside.
That one almost rolled out.
Even that one almost came back at him.
And the reason for that is a thing called pressure. When you're up and you're playing good, those shots roll in very easily. When you're down, they don't come out your hand the same way.
Springfield after that one still down by 1, 30-29. Uniontown with the lead with the ball.
Good pass. Good pass. Dion came to take away the area. The ball dropped off very nice, and the shot right in the flow of the game.
Ken Holt has 4 points. It is 32-29, and Uniontown will have the ball back again.
Springfield is starting to feel the pressure a little bit. They're getting away from things they were doing early in the ball game. They either settle down and go right back to what's been successful to them. Movement of the ball, get it down low.
Rob Butler, the point man. There's Harris.
They're going to bring him out a little bit with only 44 seconds to go. They're going to spread the floor, see if they can get something with a back door, a pick down low, any kind of an easy basket they'll take. If not, they'll go for the last one.
There's Harris. He had some daylight. A whistle away behind the ball, and I think it's on Rob Butler again. No?
Got bailed out that time, Randy. They didn't really want that. He makes a reverse turn, comes off of it, thinks he's got something open, stops at the foul line for a jumper. Most of the time that would be a good shot, but with only 30 seconds, you're looking for something much easier than that, and he was bailed out.
That was Mike Ciano's 3rd foul. Number 30, Mike Ciano, picked up the personal, so that sends Craig Harris to this moment with 4 points, up to the line looking for number 5 and looking to increase the Uniontown lead. He's got 3 of his 5 from the free throw line. 33-29. A half dozen for Harris. A 5-point lead for Uniontown. 27 seconds, clock moving. Almost to halftime of this PIAA AAA championship. Irons a fadeaway. Harris will be back at the line with 16 seconds left after he was fouled by Jim Barr.
One of the things you gotta like about Uniontown is the fact that when things were not going well, they never panicked. They stayed with their game plan. They kept on grinding and grinding and grinding, and eventually they turned the whole rhythm and beat of the game around to the way that they wanted. And right now in the last 2 minutes, they've really taken control.
Well, Harris has really been ready when opportunity has knocked at the free throw line. He has picked up 5 points from the line, and he's looking to increase that lead. It is the Uniontown fans now making the noise, hurrying to get a shot off. They'll jump that one up. They will jump that one up. Dave Alshouse, number 25.
Come down the floor, 6 seconds to go in the ball game. They force up a 13-foot shot. They've been able to get the ball wherever they want, but again, that's the pressure that has been applied now in the last 3 or 4 minutes by the Uniontown team.
Kenny Holt won the tap, and he went up a little too quickly.
Just a little cheap there that time.
They were anxious to get the break going, and Holt went up to get the ball before it reached the top of its arc.
Patience this time.
Knocked away by Fee. Barr shot rims out as the ball falls to the floor. Uniontown will head into the locker room with the advantage. That's the end of the first half. The score, Uniontown 36, Springfield Delco 29. And we'll be back with some highlights of the PIAA Wrestling Championships right after this. Uniontown is enjoying a 7-point advantage over Springfield Delco here at halftime of the boys PIAA Class AAA State Basketball Championships. Randy Waters welcoming you back to Hershey Park Arena, where, of course, basketball is not the only exciting high school event you see here during the course of the athletic season. Not long ago, the wrestling championships were contested here, and now let's take a look at some of the highlights of the PIAA State Wrestling Championships. At the culmination of many, even years. I started to say months, but I'm sure many of those wrestlers aimed for those championships for years, and the culmination of many years of hard work. Congratulations to not only the winners, but all of those who competed in the PIAA Wrestling Championships. Now, it takes many more individuals than just the wrestlers to make a state championship program like that be a winner. That is Mr. Joe Solomon, who was inducted into the PIAA Wrestling Hall of Fame during those recent state championships. It is gentlemen like Joe Solomon
who make it possible for the youngsters we saw competing to compete and to accomplish the things and the goals they set for themselves and to achieve what they set out to do. Joe Solomon recently inducted into the PIAA Wrestling Hall of Fame. Here at halftime, it is Uniontown enjoying a 36-29 advantage over Springfield Delco. Recently, we talked with Joe Solomon about being inducted into that Hall of Fame.
It is halftime at Hershey Park Arena. There you see the statistics from the first half. Uniontown had to get it in gear in the latter parts of the first half to come up with 13 out of 25 shooting. Of the Springfield field goal shooting, Irons is 7 out of 13, so he has had the hot hand. Rebounding, fairly even on the board. Sonny Hill, turnovers. The Cougars, surprisingly, have kicked it away more. Now the individual scoring, Dion Irons 14 points, Ted Kirkpatrick 10. As you can see, that is the bulk of the scoring for Springfield. Only one in foul trouble. Earl Minor, 13 points for Uniontown. He's nowhere near foul trouble, as you can see. Craig Harris has 8, Eric Fee 6, Greg Gabriel 5, and Kenny Holt 4. They're ready to toss it up. In fact, they do toss it up in center court. Here we go, second half of the PIAA Boys AAA State Championship. Uniontown leads by 7 now. We're 2 quarters away from crowning a champion. Irons immediately inside, gets a pair.
Starting off the game the same way they started off in the first quarter, getting the ball inside, Dion scoring.
Quickly down the court, Eric Fee counters for Uniontown. Fee has 8 points, Irons has 16.
Again, we want to watch the first 3 minutes, see what kind of tone is being set by either team.
Again, inside goes Springfield, and a whistle down on the baseline. Irons may have shoved off, getting position for the rebound.
Evidently, Springfield feels that they can still get the ball inside. We see a nice pass inside. This time, Kirkpatrick just had a lot of pressure applied to him, was not able to find that spot on the backboard for the field goal.
That's Irons' first foul, first team foul here in the second half. Gabriel broke the pressure. In fact, he did more than break it. He got it to the baseline. Fade away that time by Ryan Katz McLee. Surprisingly, McLee's first 2 points of the night. Turned over. Springfield kicked it away. Eric Fee will bring it up.
It seems as though the defense on the part of the Uniontown team is tightening up a little bit, and the Springfield team is starting to really scramble on their offense.
Minor drew the foul that time. And there's Lash Nesser glancing up at the clock.
In the first quarter, Springfield had the patience to get the ball inside, and if it was not there, they would step off of it and move the ball until it opened up. This quarter, we see a situation where they're trying to speed everything up and do it too quickly, so therefore they're not the same beat as they were in the early part of the game.
Ted Kirkpatrick committed the foul, his second. Number 25, Dave Althouse, into the lineup. And Earl Minor has his 14th point of the night. Funnels down the drain for him. He's got 15. It is 42-31. Minor tried to go up the block the shot, but he couldn't get any of it. Glenn Malin has his first 2 points of the night. 42-33.
Uniontown's not overly concerned about that kind of basket going down the gut, because they can shut some of that off. The thing that they're worried about is when they back pick, get that ball down low, and score those goals with Kirkpatrick and Dion Irons down low.
Gabriel, the jumper. Harris on the board. Craig Harris, the one-handed tap.
Randy, that's what you were talking about, having 4 guys go to the boards. Gabriel shot the ball, and Harris just sprung to the boards right away to get that tap in. This is the defense I'm talking about. See, it's a scramble now. It's not the same patience that it had before. They would not have taken that kind of shot, or in the early part of the game when they felt more confident and the rhythm of the game was the way they wanted it to be.
Althouse looked inside that time. The pass wasn't there. As you said, he forced it up instead of waiting.
And that happens when pressure is applied, and that's what has happened. Uniontown has gradually applied pressure from the opening. It didn't appear that way. It looked like the Springfield team was doing everything it wanted, but as the minutes wore on, the pressure started applying itself.
Right now it is the Red Raiders who appear to be in command, leading 44 to 33. That's Harris who just went in a moment ago, and now he gets the jumper to nail the bottom of the net.
And a thing called confidence has set in with the Uniontown team. They feel very confident in what they're doing at both ends of the floor, and they're showing it at both ends of the floor.
Well, Springfield wants to talk it over. They've called a timeout, and we've got a pause in the action. The score is Uniontown 46, Springfield Delco 33, and we will be back right after this. Uniontown has opened up a 13-point lead, 46-33. Springfield with the ball, got the ball inside in the lane that time to Irons, and he did draw the foul.
That was a coaching play. Timeout. Let's get back to our game plan. Let's go back to the thing that's been good to us. They come right out, they post up down low, they kick the ball down and they get something going offensively. And that's what the Springfield team has to do. They've got to stay within the framework of that game plan. And
an important factor, we were at the 5:16 mark of the third quarter before Earl Minor picked up his first foul. 17 points for Dion Irons. And we have an 11-point game. Uniontown 46, Springfield, Delco 35.
Now the defense on the part of Springfield has not been a factor. They're going to have to try to get back to a strong defense. But when a team has the confidence that Uniontown evidently has now, it doesn't matter what defense, because they're taking it inside and they're taking it outside.
Uncontested shot by Earl Minor, and he's got 17 points. Minor on the board, ripped it off with the left hand. Uniontown on the run. That's V in the corner. V stepped out of bounds.
Most people did not see what happened defensively because they don't understand the subtleties of the game. Uniontown shut off the inside when the pass came to the weak side, and it forced a person who did not normally want to shoot the ball to shoot it, and that's what good defense. Take away the strong points, make them go to their weak points. If they beat you at that end, there's nothing you can do about it.
Baseline that time. Kirkpatrick not only got the field goal, he'll get a trip to the line. Ted Kirkpatrick's first 2 points of the second half, and the foul called inside on Brian McLean.
Good strong inside play, which we've seen most of the night on the part of the Springfield team. When they get the ball down to Irons or Kirkpatrick, they get something out of it most of the time.
Kirkpatrick that time, an air ball. Didn't get to the rim, so they'll take it out on the side. Brian McLean, who committed that foul, goes to the Uniontown bench for a breather. Kenny Holt into the lineup for Uniontown. Eric V out on top. That's Greg Harris.
And they're breaking the defense down, they're spreading the floor. Good defense that time on a collapse.
Irons rejected it. Minor tried to take it away and came up empty-handed. Irons inside to Kirkpatrick. It will be Uniontown's ball.
Trying to do it too quickly. A good pass, all they have to do is gather himself and lay the ball up. But when you're down, you're trying to score too quickly. They don't have to worry about this. Enough time that they can get back in the ball game.
You can't get it all at once, but sometimes impatience make you feel you have to. Minor. Gabriel the jumper. Nice job of blocking off the boards that time. Rob Butler stands only 5'10", but he was a big man on that occasion. That's Kirkpatrick. No, it came back out. Holt finally picked it off, and here comes Harris.
That will hurt the Springfield team psychologically. Come down the floor, you've had 2 chances to score. One you throw away on the Kirkpatrick when he lost the ball. That time a ball to go in and come out. That affects you psychologically. Let's see how the Springfield team will react to that situation now.
Well, they ended up on the deck after this ball, after it went off the knee of Minor. Craig Harris diving over the top, and that dive cost him a personal foul.
This is a big play, in my opinion, coming down the floor. Let's see how they react offensively. They need to score.
They can get it under 10 if they get the basket.
Oh, that's
turned over by the big man, Irons. And reaching around from behind, Rob Butler.
You're down by 9. You come down the floor 3 times in a row, and you're not able to score. That's another thing that's going to hurt the Springfield team. Reaching from the back, it's almost an automatic situation. Refs will not allow you to do that.
Eric B. kicked it off.
Now it's on the zone. Went from the man-to-man to the zone to see what defense can shut down the effectiveness of this Uniontown team. Now, this is something they didn't do in the first part of the game. They didn't adjust. They stepped off at this time, made some adjustments to see what they could do.
Miner lost the handle, and Irons picked it up. Here comes Boyle.
Hold down.
Posting up inside. The foul that time on Mike Ciano.
And that's 4 plays that they've come down the floor. 3 of them, they had easy baskets. Good pivot, goes up strong, shoots it short. Kirkpatrick lost the ball out of bounds. Kirkpatrick shot it, spun around the rim, spilled out. Deion Irons had a good lane, lost the ball. And now we have Ciano with a nice inside lay, and they don't score. And all of those things affect you when you're out there on the floor.
Ciano with his 4 fouls, carrying the burden of those 4 fouls to the bench with him. He will watch this one for a while. 2:32 in the third quarter. And Harris, who did well from the free throw line in the first half, cannot connect there. His first miss from the line tonight. Springfield will maintain possession.
Plays that were coming easy in the first half of the ball game are now difficult. They push it down the floor. They had an open lane to get an easy shot, and there was a defensive hand because it was a lazy pass.
Kirkpatrick across the lane to Irons, had it knocked out of his hand.
Good defense. They're like bees to that ball now. They're all around the ball, and it's making the Springfield team really pay attention to what's happening.
Uniontown is now playing its game. Harris to the baseline. Oh, look at Miner up.
He was walking in air that time.
He came back down. He got the shot off. No luck for him there. Kenny Holt the foul, and Kenny Holt got fouled. Kenny Holt, pounding the boards hard, was able to draw the foul, so Kenny Holt will have a 2-shot foul when we come back with a pause in the action. The score is Uniontown 48, Springfield Delco 37, and we'll be back after this. Coming up at the end of the game, Sonny and I will select a player of the game, and this award is being sponsored by our friends at Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and without folks like that, we would not be able to bring you this PIAA AAA championship game between Uniontown and Springfield Delco. Kenny Holt at the line. He will have 2 shots. He was fouled in the act of putting the offensive rebound back up into the hole. 49-37.
Kenny's done a nice job coming off the bench in both the first half and in the second half, and that's the kind of pickup that has helped the Uniontown team to take the lead that they now have.
Holt has 6 points. It is 50-37. Gabriel man-to-man on Boyle, pressuring in, pressuring the ball, knocked away by Miner. Here comes Harris. That's Holt on the way. Off to Miner. That move.
Super move, but more important, Uniontown has intimidated Springfield. They just have no confidence at all when they go down the floor. That's one of the few positive moves that they've made in the second half.
Another thing too, Sonny, is I've watched Springfield turn from a team game into an individual game, and that's hurting Springfield right now.
Well, that's because of the defense that's been applied by Uniontown, and that in itself will make you come out of your game plan and go into a more individual type game.
Miner the turnaround, too strong. Harris tried to take it away, and he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar there a little bit. Greg Harris called for the personal.
22, Greg Harris, that's his fourth. Team's fifth.
Minor posts up real well, fakes, goes for the glass, good strong rebound, and Harris comes around and tries to knock the ball loose. That's where the foul.
Tab Douglas, she made the observation about Springfield going one-on-one. Who do you think is the key to getting them back into their game?
Well, right now they have to rely on their quarterback, which is, of course, Greg Geibel, and he's got to get the ball, and he's got to control that Springfield offense. He's got to get the team rolling. He's got to move the ball around and try to get back inside like they did early in the game. They haven't been doing since. I think I said Geibel, I meant
Kevin Boyle.
Right.
He's the man for Springfield. There he is with the ball, with the shot.
And here again we point to what good defense is all about. You force a team out of their game plan. That's one of the few shots that has been taken by Boyle. It's too early to go to that individual play. You still should be looking for the downstairs plays that were good to you early. You have shown that you can get the ball in there. He comes to the foul line. He's got a 15-foot jumper, freezes the man and takes the shot. But at this stage, it's better for him to move the ball around and get the ball inside to Irons or Kirkpatrick, who have been very good at scoring down low.
The other end, the free throw was missed by McLeod. The foul that time in the lane.
Personal foul number 50.
Eric V picks up the personal foul.
The thing that has impressed me most about this ball game has been the stick-to-itiveness on the part of Uniontown. Coach Nesser never became disturbed when Springfield came out the box early. The first 13, 14 minutes of this ball game, they had the game under control. The beat was the way they wanted it. But he just sat there. He just felt that his game plan was to go with strong man-to-man pressure, good movement of the ball, good movement of bodies, and all of a sudden when it turned around, hey, he was just sitting there and enjoying it.
Butler gets 1 out of 2 to fall. Kirkpatrick on the board. Ken Holt reaching in will be called for the personal foul. Kenny Holt.
Personal foul number 40. Ken Holt, his third.
So Holt now has 3 fouls. Watch the action off the missed free throw.
Good strong rebounding. Kirkpatrick had control. That's where the referee found the foul.
Down by 12 right now, Sonny. They got a hit here, and they miss. They come away with nothing.
Kirkpatrick has 12 points, but 10 of those came in the first half. 52-40, Uniontown enjoying a 12-point advantage. That's Gabriel putting on a move. That's Miner with the ball. Holt on the baseline, air ball. And Holt touched it last before it went out. Kenny Holt coming right at you there. And these two ball clubs still going right at one another. 13 seconds in the third quarter. This is a big possession. Springfield needs to cut it to 10.
Not only from a scoring point of view, but a psychological point of view coming into the fourth quarter. You know, can we do something? That's good because not only do he get it inside to score, but he scored with his offhand, a left-handed shot. That might be a little spark that the Springfield team could use.
The baseline maneuver by Dion Iron gives us a 10-point margin. Into the third quarter of the score, Uniontown 52, Springfield 42, and we'll be back after this. 52-42, Uniontown leads. Sonny Hill.
Coach Nesser, with the experience that he has in coaching, when he called, when the quarter ended, and he was talking to his ball club, he was talking to Greg Gabriel all the time because that's his leader, and he was trying to emphasize to him the importance of controlling the game, recognizing what's happening on the floor, and dictate style of play from that.
Well, Gabriel's a good man to lead you because he's thinking about attending an Ivy League school. He's a thinking man player. Foul on the baseline, that time on the man picking himself up off the deck, Ted Kirkpatrick.
Well, that's one of the reasons that you talk to the lead player on the floor. Gabriel recognized the defense, got the ball in a good position. We see a good, strong baseline move, and that's where the foul when the foot was stuck out.
That's McLeod. Cannot get it to go. The strong rebound by Irons. The steal down inside by Holt, and her Miner is there at the right place at the right time.
And that's a killer because you got the ball, you got a chance to do something, you'll give it up, and now you're 12 points down.
That could be a 4-point swing. Lose possession, lose 2 points, 54-42 to the baseline that time. Miner had a hand on it. That's Irons with it.
That's a big play right there, Randy and Sonny. Big play.
They got to do something defensively. They got to start turning some balls over. They got to come up with some steals. They got to make the defense create the offense.
They want to get the ball to that man, Gabriel. He runs the show.
That's a bad decision.
Not a good
jump shot. Then you didn't need a jump shot. Should have stepped off of it and reset the offense.
He had a 10-point lead.
A score right here could really help the psychological advantage of the Springfield team.
Irons inside. He did not get the basket, but he will get the 2-shot foul. Craig Harris up off the bench, back into the ball game for Uniontown.
Deion Irons has shown it all to us. He's shown us that he can play inside with good quickness and strength. He has shown us that he can go outside and shoot the 15, 18-foot jumper. And he has shown us that he can rebound and get up and down the floor. He is an outstanding all-around basketball player, and he should make a good college player wherever he decides to go.
You know, Sonny, the word I got from his coach is that Deion Irons has told the recruiters, stay away from me until the high school season is over.
Well, all of a sudden, there's going to be more recruiters out there now.
They could talk to him tomorrow.
He's an excellent athlete, and he has shown his versatility in being able to play inside or out. With a lot of ability.
He's got 24 points, but right now, his ball club, Springfield Delco, staring an 8-point deficit in the face. 6:44 to go, fourth quarter, clock moving. Uniontown with the lead with the ball. Foul out front, no, jump ball. Lack of action out front, 5-second call, and they'll jump it up.
And you see now why Coach Nesser was talking to Greg Gabriel about controlling the game. All of a sudden, the ball's not in Greg's hand. He's got to come and get that basketball as a leader. You notice that the three big guys are in the backcourt, and that's bad. You got if you're a guard, you gravitate to the ball because you want to control what's going on in the game at all times.
Uniontown gets away with a mistake there. In fact, they might get away with the basket. No, Irons, rejection.
Greg was nowhere to be found again.
Irons at the other end. Got it knocked out of his hand. Deion Irons going end to end.
Bad pass. He got to step off of it. Walk him off the floor now. Let's get some control. Uniontown has turned the ball over 3 times in a row. Greg comes up the floor. He needs to be in a more of a control situation. He rubs a man off very nice. Good pick set by Miner. But more, sorry. He moved into that area. But what Greg needs to do, and I keep talking about Greg because he's the head. And now it's about the head, not the body. The body is the part that functions after the head tells it what to do.
Springfield had trouble, Sonny, shooting from the foul line in the first half. They got to pick things up here, and hitting on the first of 2 would certainly help give them a bonus. There's the quarterback, Boyle.
The heat of the ball game is starting to tilt a little bit. And if he makes these 2 fouls, they come up with some pressure defense. We can see a very interesting ending to this basketball game.
There you go.
Kevin Boyle's first 2 points are very, very big ones. It is 54-48.
A lot of time left in this one, Randy.
6 minutes, clock moving. Boyle is trying to keep the ball out of Gabriel's hands. Holt to the basket, Holt through the foul. Miner on the bench right now, taking a breather.
Holt, who again played very well in the first half, shows us that he can come off the bench and do a job. That was a good move by him going to the bench. And Kirkpatrick has fouled out of the game, and needless to say, that's a serious blow to the Springfield team.
Kirkpatrick, 10 points in the first half, 2 in the second half, 12 for the night. Kenny Holt, 7 points, 3 from the line. All those free throws coming here in the second half. out of 2 there. This is a big call. It's going to be Uniontown's basketball.
Again, Springfield's got to do it with the defense. They've got to get out, play the good, strong man-to-man, overplay. Give up a back door, but make them at least try it, and they might get something out of it. So they're playing them straight up. They got to overplay. They got to make the passing lanes, close them down, make them go to the basket. And if they get a back door, or they might end up getting a charge, they got to take that chance.
Sometimes you have to roll the dice. The time has come for Springfield to do just that.
See, it's not the guys with the ball, it's the off players. You got to overplay the off players so that in turn you force them to go back door.
Harris inside. Holt after it. Harris after it. Kenny Holt has it, and now Gabriel control it. Irons overplaying him. Gabriel came in to get it. Give him credit for coming to the ball.
All right, there it is. See, you force them into something, and something might happen. Got to push it, though. You can't dribble it now.
And they can't be too quick on this.
Good play. Good play. They got the ball at the floor before the defense could get set, and Dion took a good shot, although it was a jumper.
25 for him. Eric Fee, no good. Fee follows his own shot, and he'll go to the line. Eric Fee, a full on the boards on that occasion.
Transition basket. Finds a good spot. Ball won't go. Strong rebound. And that's where we pick up the foul.
Fee will be at the line when we come back. A pause in the action. Uniontown 55. Springfield Delco 50. Back right after this. "29 years coaching St. John's, 4 years coaching Uniontown. The man on the left side of your screen, James Lash Nesser, is within 4 minutes and 46 seconds of winning the AAA championship. His player, Eric Fee, at the line. That man, Jerry Wiedenfeld, in his 4th year at Springfield, a team that's not supposed to be here, standing in the road of Nesser. And Eric Fee, with that free throw, makes it just that much tougher for Springfield to make the comeback.
Springfield has the time, 4:46 to go in the quarter. They've got to just take their time, come down the floor, and do what's been good to them. Get the ball inside, or if it's not there, let the inside dictate the outside for them.
1 out of 2 for Eric Fee, 56-50. Uniontown's lead, 4:35, clock moving. Irons puts one up deep in the corner. Yes, sir.
That's a big boy shot there. One dribble off the baseline. He said, hey, take this jumper.
He took it to the hole. 28 points for Irons. We have yet to name a player of the game. We have yet to determine a winner.
That's no good. Make it go in the middle.
That's on Minor,
yes.
Earl Minor.
We've seen Uniontown go in the middle on 2 occasions, and each time they've come up with nothing. And that's what happens when you overplay and you force action either to the baseline or in the gut of the defense.
3rd foul on Earl Minor. He had no fouls in the first half, has picked up 3 here in the second half.
And look who's at the foul line.
The man, Dion Irons.
He's been doing it all game.
Can't do it that time, but in on the board, and now down on the deck is the point guard, Boyle.
And that's the kind of scrambling opportunity that will help you to win a basketball game, or particularly a game like this. And in the opening, we talked about Kevin Boyle being the glue man, going to the floor with a loose ball, running through a brick wall. There's a prime example of how a player can stay within the framework of his role and do a superb job, and that's what he's done.
Kevin Boyle, the little senior, trying to cut the margin to 3. Uniontown leading 56-52.
I told you, Randy, this little guy could be a factor down the stretch. He hit on 2 free throws earlier. He hit 1 here. Another one brings them to within 2.
The important thing is that when you stay within your role, your turn's going to come. That's why when he took that jump shot, I said it was a bad shot. But when these plays are coming down the stretch, either the pass, the foul shot, boxing somebody out, that's your big play. You're supposed to take advantage of that.
A lot of time, 4:08, 2-point ball game. Eric Fee bringing it up. To Kenny Holt on the break. Yes, sir.
Super play. Super play, simply because he kept the defensive man on his hip and made a nice pass off the dribble.
So Uniontown retaliates.
No need rushing. Still got time.
Irons put the dribble down.
Oh, offensive foul. He moved the pick.
Glenn Malin moving up to set the pick.
You have a lot of time. Boyle makes a nice pass to Dion. Dion sees what's going on, and look, Malin in turn finds his man and tries to pick it. Once you set the screen, you cannot move it.
Earl Miner looking for his 22nd point on the front end of the 1-and-1. That one did a little dance, but it went down the drain.
You know, early in the ball game when things were very difficult for Uniontown, Miner was the guy who got them started, and it seems like coming down the stretch, he's going to be the guy responsible for keeping them ahead.
23 for Miner. Springfield had come within 2. All of a sudden, they now trail by 6 once again. Bad pass inside. Miner picked it off. That's Gabriel. No whistle at midcourt. Down on the baseline. Boyle called for that foul. Gabriel involved in a collision at midcourt.
Good pass, but I've been very impressed with the bench coaching of Coach Nason. He in turn that time said to Greg Gabriel, hey, take your time. He didn't want him to force that situation down the floor. You've got to lead us 6 points. Step off it. Let's work the clock.
Well, we've got a pause in the action. It is Uniontown 60 and Springfield Delco 54. We'll be back after this.
Come on, Harry, smile. It's your birthday.
And today's date was a daily number.
Oh, that's terrific.
I didn't play.
You didn't play.
Our uncle's number was yesterday's daily number. Hey, guys, I forgot to play. You forgot to play it?
I don't believe it.
Something's wrong?
Your license number was last night's daily number, and I didn't play it.
But I did.
I don't believe it.
The daily number, over $500,000 won each day. Come on, play.
I should have played.
Uniontown and Springfield Delco waging a war. Uniontown leading by 6, 60-54, and a couple of guys named Earl Miner and Dion Irons waging a battle for the player of the game on earth. That's not prevalent in their minds, but we're kind of keeping an eye on the situation. Miner 23, Irons 28 points right now. Eric Fee at the line, 2 shots. He's still got 1 coming, even though he missed the front end. Now, Fee is a 3-year starter in football for Uniontown, but I don't know if he faced any situations this tough. He's got 10 points, and it's a 7-point spread.
And still's a lot of time. Springfield can come down the floor and work the ball and get the best shot. They're not rushing.
Harris crashing the board. Greg Harris bringing it up. Now he's looking for Gabriel, finds him. Reversing it into the lane. There's Miner going to the glass, away from the ball, so he was there when Craig Harris drew the defense to him.
Now they've got the score this time.
All of a sudden, in about a minute and a half, it's turned from a 2-point ball game to a 9-point ball game.
7 straight points by Uniontown, and they own the ball once again. Harris says, come here to Gabriel, but Gabriel cannot shake free, so Miner brings it up. Double team. There's Gabriel. Miner, 2:26, milking the clock, milking it a little bit, 63-54. They lead by 9. Gabriel lost it on the dribble, and why would he force it?
I don't understand why you would even go in traffic. The ball, he goes to the ball, brings another man in that area when they're just finished popping the ball around and keeping everybody spread on the floor.
Springfield.
Springfield. Jerry Wiedenfeld takes the opportunity to talk things over, so that gives us a pause in the action. The score, Uniontown 63, Springfield Delco 54. Back after this.
If your car keeps running even after you stop, maybe your car needs the gas with guts. New Gulf Super Unleaded helps stop dieseling, knocking, and pinging because it's one of the highest octane unleaded gasolines you can buy. New Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts.
Ciano, I've got him with 5 personal fouls.
Got to go to some kind of pressure. Ciano tries to get his position on the floor, slow in getting there, slow in getting his feet established, and he ends up committing a foul.
He goes to the bench with 5 fouls with 4 points. Jim Barr, 5'10" senior, who appeared in the first half, replaces him in the starting lineup.
Mike Ciano, excuse me, Randy, is just sick at himself over on the bench for losing that inbounds pass. He's really frustrated at himself right now.
Well, that may have been one reason he tried to come back and draw the charges in an ill-advised move. Greg Harris has 13 points. 7 of those from the line. Making 14 points and 8 from the line. 1:53 to go. The game not over. We've still got a player of the game decision to make. That man Irons up for it. Misses the shot. Harris on the board. Here comes Gabriel. 65-54. The Uniontown fans beginning to celebrate.
Harris has done an excellent job of doing the dirty work. Strong rebounds. He has been the one that come up with 3 and 4 players around him in this fighting at all. He's played a real strong basketball game.
There goes Miner down the lane, kicking it up to Kenny Holt for the win.
That could do it.
Holt has 11. 67-54. It's all over with the shouting, but believe me, the Red Raider fans are taking the opportunity to shout. Boyle to the baseline. Rejected, and here comes that man. Sonny said he did a lot of the dirty work, and he came out of the pack again with the ball. Miner is fouled. I think they'll give the foul to Glenn Malin. Malin out of the ball game. Miner to the free throw line.
In my opinion, Miner's the most valuable player, but the person who won this basketball game is Coach Mason. He, in turn, has just done a superb job of never, ever becoming disturbed about what was going on with his ball club. Even in the early part of the game when things were not going well, he just sat there, waited for things to fall in line, and in turn watched his team execute. I think he has done a superb job of handling this basketball team.
There is a foul by Uniontown that you would say it was ill-advised, and I guess it is, but it would appear it would take more than that to ruin a 13-point advantage.
Well, that's the adrenaline, the emotionalism that's involved. Even when I talk about Gabriel, why would he take his man that area? This young people excited about what's going on, trying to make more things happen than should have to happen.
Sometimes I think we expect too much of it.
Well, I know I do. With my programs that I have in Philadelphia, I tend to look at youngsters who are 17, 18 years old, and they're so good that we forget that they're still only 16, 17, 18 years old.
30 points. 30 points for Dion Irons. What a valiant effort in what would appear to be a losing cause.
He's a player.
Eric B. underneath with the easy bunny. 69-56. 45 seconds clock moving. 12 points for Eric B. And Irons could be selfish. He gave it up.
That's what he did.
Could be
he
selfish.
Realized
He
he's
gave it
had
up.
a lot of offense. So, hey, let somebody else take some of these shots. He's a good kid. Like I said, I've been knowing him since he was in the 8th grade. And He's just a good, strong young man.
Minor in a big collision there with Jim Barr, and Barr is charged with the foul. And now Quietenfeld emptying the bench. Paul Whitman, number 50, into the ball game. As you see, a rather tired Earl Minor leaning on his knees at the free throw line, but you're not as tired when you win, are you, son?
Played a superb basketball game, not only scoring 25 points, but we've seen him pass it. We've seen him come up with some rebounds, particularly early in the ball game. He talked about his quickness. He shot the ball, he missed it, went to get it, and scored. They were the things that kept the Uniontown team in the ball game when it would have been very easy for them to become unraveled and to fall totally apart in that first 12 or 13 minutes.
He can now add to that 25-point total, Tab.
A little bit of credit, Randy, to the Springfield coach and his basketball team. Uniontown coming in, we all knew they were the class of the tournament. They were expected to get this far. Jerry Quietenfeld brought his team out of nowhere, upsetting 3 teams, and an inspired effort here today.
27 for Minor.
Spectators are reminded that they are not permitted to play more on the line game.
20 seconds. The clock will stop with 19 seconds left. That field goal is good. Credit Barr. First 2 of the night for Jimmy Barr. Our most valuable player, Earl Minor, has been sought after by a number of schools. Reportedly, he is very interested in Minnesota, and the Golden Gophers are very interested in him, and you can see why.
He's a good athlete. The big thing is, can he make the adjustment at 6 feet 1 or 2 to playing the backcourt? That's always a problem for high school youngsters who are many times when they are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", are used out of a position that if they do go on to college, that adjustment is not as easy as it would appear to be.
There's a class act. Earl Minor to the opposition's bench before he returns to the Uniontown bench. And now the celebrating begins on the Red Raider bench. Foul in the backcourt before the ball came across the timeline. Some of the crowd in Hershey Park Arena beginning to file out. You can bet none of the Uniontown fans are going to be leaving early.
The Uniontown fans, I would say 50% of them have on Uniontown shirts, and they're very visible off into the corner right under the basket where a majority of their fans are over there celebrating.
Now we've got a foul called there.
Technical foul for...
I assure you, too, the trip will be a lot shorter for them on the way home.
It's always that way.
The man grabbed the hoop! You tell me put him in, huh?
You think he's not still excited with 14 seconds left?
That's the most emotion that he has shown in this ball game, trying to get his subs in the ball game, and he's disturbed because the guys who went in as subs were not mentally into the game. They ended up grabbing the rim for technical fouls, and that's why he's taking them out of the ball game right now. Many times when you sit on that bench and you don't get a chance to play, the coach wants you mentally ready when you do go in there, and I think that's a good example of what should happen. If you're not ready to play, hey, come and sit it back down on this bench and let the guys who are out there earlier, let them go back out there and play. And I applaud him for what he's doing.
Stacey Jones grabbed the rim, so he was pulled out of the ball game.
Wasn't in the game. He wasn't mentally in the game.
14 seconds left, and hey, the coach is still in control.
That's why I said to me, he's the most valuable player. I've been impressed with everything that he has done.
Allshouse back up and in. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, the clock will run out. No, clock is stopped, the foul called in the backcourt. So, delaying the inevitable disappointment for Springfield, delaying the celebration for Uniontown. It is a 10-point margin, 71-61, and there he is again, Earl Minor at the line. We can't get out of here, Sonny, before I ask you who you think's going to win the NCAA.
Don't even run that one by me. Right now, I'm neutral.
I sucker punched you on that one. I didn't tell you.
It's a super game.
Don't feel bad, Sonny. I picked Virginia.
Well, going in, I thought LSU would win it. But right now, with Indiana and North Carolina, it's going to be a class act.
Earl Minor's got 29. The ball now becomes alive, and fittingly, the leader of the team had the ball at the last second. Greg Gabriel, James Lash Nesser, now has a PIAA AAA championship to his credit after a big win. Uniontown celebrating the victory along with Sonny Hill.